Welcome home, y'all. Welcome to SLC. Please rise and join us in our opening song because we can't do it without you. And we need you and we love you. Welcome home.
That's right. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In my soul, oh, my soul is welcomed here. Oh, my soul is welcomed here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcomed here. Your soul is welcome right here. Internet community, we love you and you're welcome. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcomed here. Oh, my soul is welcomed here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcomed here. Oh, my soul is welcomed here. Oh, my soul is welcomed here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcomed here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcomed here. Your soul is welcome right here. Internet community, your soul is welcomed here. My soul is welcomed here. Your soul is welcomed here. Welcome home, you're welcomed here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Right here, y'all. SLC.
Happy Mother's Day, SLC. And happy Mother's Day, almost Reverend Lisa, who's going to be ordained in a few weeks. And on June 7th, we are going to have a major celebration celebrating her ordination. So come on down, as it were. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Rick, and happy Mother's Day and welcome, SLC. And we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is sacred, and all that is holy, and in the warm and loving energy of our community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no spot that God is not. And we especially are newcomers, if it's your first time joining us, whether you're online or in person, we especially want to welcome you, because that we know that no one is here by accident, that in fact we are all here by divine appointment. Please silence your electronic devices and refrain from flash photography during the service.
And today's daily word is blessing for mothers. The affirmation is, I bless and give thanks for the mothers in my life. Today I celebrate and honor the world's mothers. First, of course, is the mother who nurtured and guided me to the person that I am through her love and example. I also bless those who have shown me mother's love throughout my life. These special ones may be grandmothers, aunts, or other family members. perhaps a neighbor or a teacher who took me under their wing, offering me support and encouragement. I have deep appreciation for them all. On Mother's Day, I bless the mothers and mother figures in my life with thoughts of gratitude and love. I hold these dear ones gently in prayer, affirming they know the tender, nurturing love of God as they have so selflessly shared it with me. And from Proverbs we read, her ways are always pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Today's daily word is blessing for mothers. Let's go into a prayer moment. Dear Spirit, thank you for all the motherly influences that have been in our lives. Help us bless and appreciate these many opportunities that we have had to experience this love. And help us to go out and love, serve, and remember. Thank you for the Spiritual Life Center, this incredible spiritual community with a powerful message, not just for Sacramento, but for the world beyond. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. And we want to honor all mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and mother figures. So first, if you are a mother, would you please stand? Come on, yay! So if you're a grandmother, will you please keep standing? Moms, if you're not a grandmother yet, there we go. Grandmothers. Great-grandmothers in the house. Great-grandmothers in the house. Yes. Thank you, thank you. And at the same moment, there's also artwork on the back wall there. Please look at it. It was done at the last women's retreat. It is displayed on our back wall, and it is truly, truly beautiful. You know, we always start our service by saying our mission statement because it really, honestly, truly does remind us of who we've come here to be. Let's say it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we also say those incredible 5 unity principles. Believe me, I have found in my life these oftentimes are words to say to get us out of the potholes that we may have fallen into. Let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And Lisa, so many things are going on here, including Wow Wednesday. What's new?
Well, our Wow Wednesday this week begins with our Oneness Prayer Circle with the prayer chaplains. It's a wonderful time to connect through prayer and meditation and also ask for your personal prayers. That's followed by our community meal at 6 p.m. Right now we're doing salads, and we do ask that you RSVP by Monday if you can so that we have a good idea of who's coming. And just a reminder for those who are signed up for the Unapologetic Manifestation class, we'll have our 4th class this Wednesday, so you can attend either in person or online. The class is full, so it's only for those who are already registered, which is about 70 of you. So, and we'd like to invite Bejan to make an announcement about West Coast New Thought Music Festival.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. So the 2nd annual New Thought Music All-Star Concert is happening May the 22nd at 7 p.m. at Unity of Walnut Creek. It's hosted by the West Coast New Thought Music Collective. Artists that are coming to the stage are our very own Miss Carol Manson, Northern California. Yes, she's in the house. Sharon Henderson from the Bay Area. Misa Malone, San Francisco Unity. We also have Carrie Hillary, and she's with One World Records. Also, Paula and Ann Roach, myself included, and we're from right here from Sacramento, SLC.
And last but not least, who's going to hold it down for all the artists? It's our very own Music by Soul Like Connection. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. So it's going to be fire. So here's the thing. There is a link on our website for tickets, right? You want to get those as soon as you can. And then if you're interested in carpooling, RJ, our very own coordinator, RJ, he has information about carpooling, so you won't have to go by yourself. So please join us. We look forward to seeing you there Friday night. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, thank you. There is going to be a special art reception for Brenda Bowles, and also as a tribute to Reverends Michael and Faith Moran. It's going to be held on June 20th, Saturday, June 20th, from 11 to 3 p.m. It's a wonderful time to see her. Her art's all over this place anyway. To see her art, and also to be able to buy some of this artwork at great discounts. And again, to celebrate and to remember Michael and Faith Moran. We're also going to be holding an art reception and show later on in the year because we have a tremendous number of artists in this community, and we will be holding an art reception for all of them. But to pick up cards, these are cards of Brenda's work of art and has information about it. Go to the welcome table out in the courtyard. They will be there. They're also great to send people and who might not know about the show or might be old-timers and you have been here but have not been here lately, and you might want to send it to them. So it's an art show, a wonderful art show on June 20th. I hear we also have raffle tickets for an incredible time in Costa Rica.
We do, and wow, this is only 100 tickets will be sold. We'll be selling them until we're sold out, and then we'll take the raffle. Unfortunately, the hub is not open today because we are short on volunteers. People are on vacation or ill today. So if you're interested in helping at the hub, I'm sure Patty would love to hear from you. And get your raffle tickets next week.
If I were king of the forest, Pentecost would be right up there with Christmas and Easter. And on May 24th, which is Pentecost, I'll explain why. But guess what? I guess as a senior minister, I do get some say about not the temperature in the sanctuary, but other important things. Other important things. So May 24th, Pentecost, it's going to be a big celebration here. We are going to have SLC's vocal ensemble members of the choir, led by our own Larry Chevlet. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful special service. And then following the 11 a.m. service, we are going to have a special Pentecost lunch. We hope you'll be there, served on a love offering basis, but no one will be turned away. So come on May 24th to have a really wonderful and special celebration on Pentecost. And we have George Peckham from the board to report what's going on.
Good morning, SLC family. Is this good? Okay. So Reverend Rick says a little nervousness is good, so I'm checking it out. Okay. And I said in the first service that my mom would have loved this community. And her mom, my grandma Margaret, she was a reader of the Daily Word. So I have it in my genes. And here I am giving a board report, very nervous. At our last board meeting in April, the board approved a motion to make improvements to the courtyard by hiring a concrete contractor to remove the small planter in front of the restrooms. We decided to do this to allow for a safer and smoother flow of foot traffic coming out of the sanctuary after the service. As we started to prepare for this work, we found that there was some electrical conduit issues underneath the surface. And thanks to Brian Gorell and Victor Sparks, those problems are getting worked out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your 4 hours yesterday working on that project. So the next step is I'll be calling the contractor tomorrow morning to schedule having the concrete work done. They've assured me that they can do it in a day's time, and we're trying to schedule it for a Monday. so it won't be disruptive to the church. To finish the job, we're also going to install a wrought iron guardrail along the walkway right in front of the restroom so people can walk safely without tripping on anything around that area. We're so blessed to have Tess Keene and her devotion to the courtyard, and for her loving care in ushering the Buddha from the small planter to the middle planter and under the Bodhi tree. And by the looks of Buddha, I think he likes it there. Okay, and we're blessed to have a couple of our congregants, Sally Sion and somebody that would like to remain anonymous, provide the financial aspect of having the project done. So thanks for both of them. Yeah. Okay, and so lastly, please mark your calendars for next Sunday, 5/17/26 at 1 p.m. We're going to have a new member info session. This meeting is for congregants who are not members, but are interested in finding out more about membership. So if you've been a part of the congregation for a long time, or you're just new here, meet with us next Sunday at 1 p.m., I believe in the annex. There'll be some board members there. It's very informal. Ask whatever questions you need to ask. We want you to know more about us, but we want to know more about you. So I really encourage anybody that's considering being a member to just come and get some information. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, George. Thank you, George.
So we remember that there are many things that foster transformation in our lives, and prayer is one of the most important of them. Our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you in the courtyard after service. And also, if you'd like to receive a monthly prayer call from the chaplains, you can sign up at their table. And we encourage you to do that because they are updating their roster of calls. You can also check out weekly small groups and offerings on our website. We usually have all that also at the hub. Like I said, that's not available today, but will be next week. And so check it out on the website today.
And I can't think of a better way to celebrate Mother's Day than to do a baby blessing. So come on up, Autumn and Harley Jade Kane. Yay! Hi. Oh. Isn't she beautiful?
Hi, Harley.
Hi, Harley. Hi, Harley. Hi, Autumn. It has been so great to see them also on Wednesdays at our Wednesday Wow celebration, and it's just been really wonderful. Let's say a special prayer for Harley. Dear Spirit, we lift Harley up to you. Wrap her in your love, protect her heart, and guide her spirit and her steps. Give her the strength and courage to do your will. Fill her with confidence and kindness. Fill her with the wisdom and joy. Help her to know how well loved she really is. And if she ever feels lost, help her to know that she is one with the one and one with you, and that there is a divine spark inside of her that will guide her home. Thank you for the gift of Harley's life. May we always know how blessed we are to be a parent, teacher, guardian, or friend of Harley. Thank you for Harley, that she was born and blessed. She was born blessed and remains blessed. And for so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Let's say that wonderful unity blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold God's love as you. And we want to keep on remembering this moment, a certificate. And Autumn, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, we come here for so many reasons. One of them is for baby blessings. Another is to share and greet each other. So let's now share and greet each other.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and please, please join us in our next song. We need you to help us with this. I'm here to remind you.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. Please be seated.
So, as we settle into our seats and take a nice deep breath together, drop into that beautiful heart space, and let's prepare for meditation by speaking out loud our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And we're going to sing this chant today. I wrote this during COVID, and it is an affirmation of the body-mind-spirit connection and the power that is within us as sovereign beings to heal ourselves. This was the essence of Myrtle Fillmore's story.
This body is the temple of my soul. This body, my heart and mind make core. This body, born of light and love divine. This body.
This body is the temple of my soul. Breathe those words in and out. I invite you now to return home to the body, the temple of the soul. Together, let's breathe ourselves home. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. Find a position that is comfortable for you and close your eyes. Noticing the gentle swell of the breath, the winding current of life riding through our very bodies as we climb down from the mind into the body, simply by remembering that we are being breathed. Breathing in, I am aware of the in-breath. Breathing out, I am aware of my out-breath. In-breath and out-breath. Your breath finding its natural rhythm. In and out. You may notice that as the mind chatter quiets, our bodies begin to soften. They begin to settle. Focus on the rise and fall of the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rising and falling. Be still. Be here. I am here in this body, and I am home. I sense my body rooted deeply into Mother Earth. I am here in this body, and I am whole. I am here in this body, and I am healthy. I am here in this body, and I am love. Breathing in, aware of the in-breath. Breathing out, aware of the out-breath. I am here in this body, and I am listening. Oh, Divine Mother Earth, what is it I need to know? That I am complete just the way I am? That I am forgiven? That I am free to choose to let go of all that does not serve my highest purpose? That I am loved beyond measure? What is it I need to know? Divine Mother Earth, speak to me. Speak to me. I am here in my body, and I am listening in the silence. Slowly return to the present moment. You may choose to wiggle your toes or fingers. Flutter your eyelids if you wish. And open your eyes when you are ready. Allow whatever has arisen for you to come up without judgment and without blocking or resisting. Feel whatever energy has shifted for you. When we are in our bodies, we are home. We connect to Source and send light, love, and healing to every cell of our bodies. Thank you, Mother Earth, for your loving embrace. Thank you, Mom. I love you. I miss you. Amen.
In a mother's love, you will find everything's all right to a mother's love. You are bound. You can rest on sacred ground. In a mother's love, you are free to dream, because she sees what you can be. In a mother's love, you see the sun, enough for two, but you are one. In a mother's love, you can feel when something hurts. You can heal. Yes, a mother's love is real. You grow because she knows to let you go. Yeah, mama. Mother's love, yeah. All right. Mama, yeah. A mother's love. A mother's love, yeah. All right. And a mother's love never lies. She believes you can fly with all her might. A mother's love, oh yeah.
Wow. Thank you to our music ministry. You know, with Paula's song about the body, I'm going to be talking about Myrtle Fillmore. I could see, if the time was a little different and that song was around, I could see Myrtle Fillmore singing that song to her. So much. And thank you, Paul, for a wonderful meditation. You know, we hear that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were the co-founders of the Unity movement, but then we hear so much more about Charles and not as much about Myrtle, and I understand that, but really, it was Myrtle's vision that really kicked off and jump-started this whole thing in the first place. No Myrtle, I think, and no Unity, and so I'd like to talk about Myrtle Fillmore as the mother of the Unity movement. And, we've been talking about, a few weeks ago, Lisa gave a wonderful talk about Phineas Quimby, one of the early thinkers in New Thought. We're not trying to give history lessons. I think to know a little bit about the history of New Thought is important. But I also think that a lot of the qualities that Quimby, that Myrtle Fillmore, and some of the others that we're going to be talking about given the tough times that we're going through on so many levels, both societal and individual, I think it's important to remember these pioneers and a lot of the qualities that they had. It's important for us, I think, to put into our spiritual walk. Now, I was very blessed. I mean, God, the people in my class at Unity Institute and Seminary, I mean, were an incredible bunch of people. One of them was a graduate of Stanford Law. She was just about to be made partner in one of America's leading law firms, decided this was not for her. She was really called to be a minister. Next thing you know, she's at Unity Institute and Seminary. Another was Reverend Ann Tabor. And Ann, before all this was, she had an incredible career in the television industry. She really was a senior executive there. Felt this was not for her, that what she was really called was to be a minister. And Reverend Ann said something which I've really, many things that have stuck with me, but one of them in particular, if somebody was going through a problem, a challenge, or whatever, Reverend Ann would often say, you know what? Put a myrtle on it. Put a myrtle on it. So, if you looked at Myrtle's birth certificate, there's several things I think which would amaze you. One was because she's such a modern thinker, and she was a feminist, way before the movement was there, and et cetera, et cetera. She seems so modern in so many ways, and yet she was born in 1845. I mean, many years before the American Civil War. The other thing which I think would amaze you is that if you looked at her birth certificate, it doesn't say Myrtle. It says Mary Caroline. So where did this Myrtle come in? Well, there are two stories. They're not conflicting stories, but I think they're interesting stories nonetheless. She was the seventh of 8 children, so she was one of the babies in the family. Her father was very much a straight-laced businessman and farmer, and they lived in Ohio. And so when the father came home to unwind, he didn't have a vodka tonic. What he essentially did, he came in, he would take little Mary Caroline and take her by her arms, swing her around, and he would say, "Oh, my Myrtle Lee, oh, my Myrtle Lee." And it sort of caught on. The second story, which is not conflicting with the first, is that Myrtle Fillmore felt that one day Spirit said to her, "Your name is Myrtle." End of subject. And so Myrtle Fillmore it is. The other interesting thing is that Myrtle was, as I say, the seventh of 8 children. She seemed to be the sickly one. Was it asthma? Was it tuberculosis? Who knew? But she seemed to be, as they say, the runt of the litter, and she was the sickly one. And this consciousness sort of stuck with Myrtle, And so it's interesting because we remember her so much as a saintly, grandmotherly figure. And, sometimes people have said, obviously Myrtle Fillmore didn't have error thought. And her response was, "You got to be kidding me. I had a ton of error thought. All this seeing myself as the sickly one, the one who couldn't do, the invalid." She said, "I had to really, honestly, truly get rid of that." Now, the other interesting thing is she grew up, her parents went to a pretty much hellfire and brimstone church of the day. And interestingly, Myrtle, even as a little kid, didn't believe, she said, "I didn't believe in that." I mean, she couldn't square it with a loving God that she believed in. And so even as a young girl, all this hellfire and brimstone, she said she didn't believe in. But it was interesting, her older sister, Anna, one day, also couldn't believe in it and couldn't tolerate it. And one day in the middle of the service, she just walked out of the church. And her parents were, "If you do that, don't darken the door of our house." And there was a serious rupture with Anna and the family. Myrtle felt they don't need another daughter rupture and all that. So even though, but as I say, from a young girl, did not believe in this hellfire and brimstone or a judgment, a God who's about to zap you for stepping on the cracks. Myrtle grew up, if we could get to the first slide, please. Very attractive young woman. Obviously, the goal is get her married and off you go. Myrtle said, "I'm not anti-marriage or anything," but quite frankly, I want to go to college, and I also want to become a teacher. In those days, very few, whether you were a male or a female, went to college. And in that part of the world, there were very few places which accepted women as students. However, there was one school, Oberlin University, which had a one-year program, a great books course, read Plato, Aristotle, Shakespeare, and Myrtle went to that, graduated, and then came back to her hometown in Ohio and became a teacher. And by all indications we have, she was a fabulous teacher. We have documents and letters written from, students who said, Mrs. Fillmore, you really changed my life around. I am so grateful for all that you did, et cetera, et cetera. However, and they now knew it was tuberculosis. The tuberculosis started to really act up, and the doctor said, we got to get you to a more conducive climate. And so they chose Denison, Texas, of all places. And if we could see the next slide, here in Denison, Texas, young Myrtle Fillmore met a young guy who was even younger than her by the name of Charles Fillmore, I remember when my first church was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, living on Tulsa time. And we would go down to Austin, Texas and visit with my son, daughter-in-law, and grandkids. And getting there, we'd actually go through Denison, Texas. Now, Myrtle was deeply spiritual. Charles, he wasn't anti-spiritual, but if we could get serious, spirituality was not number one. I mean, having a deep relationship with God was not on his bucket list. Quite frankly, the first thing on his bucket list was to get rich. Second was to get rich quickly. And the third centered probably around get rich quickly fast. So, anyway, Charles thought the best way to do this would be land speculation and silver mining. And so they went west. And in those days, it really, honestly, truly was the Wild West. Myrtle had some interesting observations. One of them was that she said so many of the Native Americans that she met in the Wild West, as it were, she felt were a lot closer to the Godhead than a lot of her so-called Christian friends back east. And so panhandle, the silver stuff didn't work out, real estate in the Wild West didn't really work out. But this was the period where Kansas City started booming. Everything's up to date in Kansas City. They've gone about as far as they can go. Well, this was happening in Kansas City. They went to Kansas City, and Charles really started hitting it off in real estate and had an incredible career in terms of real estate. They had several children. Things seemed to be going along very nicely, except for the tuberculosis, and they now definitely knew it was tuberculosis. And it was really serious, and they tried to get Myrtle to the best medical treatment that was known for the day for tuberculosis. When my late wife, Debbie, got cancer, she semi-jokingly said, when I got cancer, I got chemotherapy and radiation. And when I got cancer, my husband, Rick, went out and got a book. And the book which I got was called The Emperor of All Maladies by Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee, an incredible man. He's an oncologist, a professor at Columbia University. And The Emperor of All Maladies is about the history of cancer. And it's very interesting. Of course, it shouldn't come as a surprise. Oncologist believes that cancer is the emperor of all maladies right now. But he said it wasn't always that way. If you went back in time, so many other things killed people before cancer even had a chance to get to them. He said, for example, in the 1800s, I would say that probably the emperor of all maladies was tuberculosis. So, a lot of times I feel we talk about Myrtle Fillmore and her health condition, and we make it sound like Myrtle had a serious chest cold. It was not just a serious chest cold. What Myrtle had was, in that day and age, the emperor of all maladies. I'm not going to do it here, but I composed a list of all the people, famous, Emerson's wife, this, that, and the other, who died of tuberculosis in the 1800s. For example, you went to a concert by Chopin, it said. If you were sitting in the front seats, you could literally see the blood flowing out of Chopin and onto the white keys of his piano. It was a serious, serious, serious killer. It was the emperor of all maladies. And it's the 1880s, and doctors say to Myrtle, there's no more medical science can do for you, and quite frankly, you're probably going to die within a year. I mean, I've talked to you several times about, progress a lot of times seems to be 5 steps forward, 4 steps back. Boy, oh boy, you have the emperor of all maladies, and there's nothing more medical science can do for you, and you're probably going to die with, I hope they had a good bedside manner in telling her all this, but I mean, you want to talk about 4-step back periods. That was what hit Myrtle. That is what hit Myrtle. And then she was very fortunate to go to a lecture in Kansas City given by a Dr. E.B. Weeks. Dr. E.B. Weeks was a student of Emma Curtis Hopkins. And I am going to be giving a few Sundays down the road, I am going to be talking about this incredible woman, Emma Curtis Hopkins, who in New Thought circles is known as the teacher of teachers. I mean, almost every branch of from Ernest Holmes to the Fillmores, almost they were students of Emma Curtis Hopkins, and we'll be talking about her, an incredible, incredible woman. So anyway, Dr. E.B. Weeks is giving the lecture, and during the lecture he says, you are a child of God, and therefore do not inherit sickness. You are a child of God, and therefore do not inherit sickness. Something incredible happened. It really flowed and hit Myrtle. I mean, like a ton of bricks, like lightning. William James, who a lot of people call the father of American psychology, he was the first professor of psychology at Harvard University. And as a matter of fact, when Freud and Carl Jung visited the United States, they asked, who do you want to see? And top of the list was they wanted to meet William James. Now, William James wrote many wonderful books, but one in particular, it's not an easy book, but it's an incredible book, I think. The Varieties of Religious Experience. If it were written today, I think the title would be Varieties of Spiritual Experience. In it, James talks about mystical experiences. And one of the things which he classifies as a mystical experience is you hear something 1,000 times. It goes in one ear, right out the other. The 1,001st time, for some reason, it hits you like a ton of bricks. It comes alive. It so powerfully comes alive. And you just feel it on such a deep, incredible level. That's what happened to Myrtle. That's what happened to Myrtle. Let me give you an idea of 2 things. One, physical cure, spiritual healing. Physical cure, spiritual healing. It's possible to have a physical cure without a spiritual healing. If that happens, usually what happens, your physical thing gets cured, but like whack-a-mole, it comes up in some other form until you have that spiritual healing. But you can also have a spiritual healing without, as it were, the physical cure. In the 1880s, when Myrtle walked away from that lecture, she had a spiritual healing. She knew that she just knew that she was going to survive this and that she was going to be okay. Just very much like what Ken Daigle had talked to us about a few weeks ago, back in the 1980s when he had contracted HIV. People are dying left and right and center, but he had experienced Marianne Williamson, he had experienced Eric Butterworth, and he knew that he was going to survive this. So Myrtle had that spiritual healing, but it took 2 to 3 years, almost 3 years, until the manifestation of that physical cure came. And it was hard spiritual work. Myrtle, again, error thought. Myrtle went in and prayed to the cells of her body. How could she ever see this as anything less than a divine creation? And seeing herself as whole, as well, learning things like affirmative prayer and experiencing so many things which we now, almost take for granted as part of, New Thought and Unity, but experiencing these things on a deep personal level. It took 2 to 3 years, but eventually Myrtle also had the manifestations of that physical cure. This was in the late 1880s. Myrtle died a very old woman in 1931, and it had absolutely nothing to do with tuberculosis. Incredible. So, here's this, sickly lady who, looked like she was on death's door. She's now brimming with health, vitality. I love that old, it was interesting at Reverend Phil Pearson's celebration for his life. Some of the old Unity songs were sung, and I loved it. One of them is, I am the radiant life of God, I am, I am, I am. And she was that representing that sort of radiant life of God. You don't have to go out and proselytize. People come to you, and my God, what happened? How did you do that? And people start, and so she said, well, come on into our parlor. I'll sit down, I'll talk to you what I did. This is the start of Silent Unity. This is the start of Silent Unity. And she would teach them, and the interesting thing is that Charles, being the great man of business and science, he couldn't deny the healing of his wife. And he couldn't deny that he saw so many people following these practices and getting better. Finally, Charles said, these are his words directly. He said, I'm going directly to headquarters to see if there's anything about this. And he started going into what is now called the silence. And it's interesting, the Fillmore's one of their grandkids said, we just assumed that grandparents go into the silence. That's what grandparents do. But then finding out that her grandparents were unusual. Not everybody was going in, and not all grandparents were going into the silence. Charles was blown away because he really experienced, wow, there really is something to this. There really is a beyond that is within us. The material world is not the end all and be all. Whoa. And from that, Charles and Myrtle literally signed a compact that they would devote their lives to teaching these principles. And they would do it on a love offering basis, not for profit, or to the point of when they wrote books and all that, they didn't even copyright them. They couldn't care less. They wanted these books to get out as it were, as quickly as possible. And then the Unity movement really started to grow. Now, it would be easier for me to tell you what Myrtle did not do for the Unity movement than to tell you all the things she did. But I'm going to confine myself to only three areas. One of them was obviously prayer. From this talking to people and writing letters, out of this started Silent Unity. If we could go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. There we are. Next slide. There we are. Boink. There's one of the early days it was before telephones and before, computers and all that. But there is, an early days of Silent Unity. Became an incredibly powerful prayer ministry. If we could go to the next slide. There's, next slide, please. There we go. There's Silent Unity Chapel. How may we pray for you? Again, my first church was in Tulsa, and Tulsa is, it's still to this day is Oral Roberts country. And so Oral Roberts wanted to, start a prayer ministry. So he looked around and thought, well, who should I talk? He said, yeah, Unity has probably the most effective one. Let's go to Unity and talk to them. Now, most places, Oral Roberts comes knocking on your door, wants to set up you would say, you got to be kidding me. Your theology, our theology, you got to be kidding me. This is Unity. So they opened the door and said, sure, come on in. Let us show you what we have. And then sat and taught Oral Roberts how to set up a prayer ministry. That's Unity. And so this was, so important. Another thing which was so important, which Myrtle did, and prayer really is at the heart and center of Unity and the heart and center of New Thought. The other thing was Myrtle became very active in youth and family ministry and felt that this was so incredibly important. If we could go to the next slide. She really worked and strove to set up youth and family ministry within Unity. She was the editor for a good number of years of something called We Wisdom. And, you know, I am so grateful that at Spiritual Life Center, there are some Unity churches which are sort of abandoned youth and family ministry. We've made the decision, and you guys have made the decision to go the opposite direction, to really try to reestablish and build. And I think Lisa Lawson has done an incredible job in starting to rebuild this. Reverend Janae, who was here at the first service, is now teaching the youth how to make dream catchers, and during the second service. The story I love is that the Fillmores were vegetarians. Now, in a lot of the founders were vegetarians. In a lot of denominations, my God, you too have to be a vegetarian. If you eat a cheeseburger, you're going straight to hell or whatever. That's not, again, going back to Tulsa, the wonderful Darlene Rao, a real grandmotherly figure, ran our A Course in Miracles, wonderful woman, but she was the daughter of a Southern Baptist minister. She came up to me one day and she said, Reverend Rick, when we gave up on the devil and hell, we gave up on a lot of bargaining power. So, and rightfully, and hopefully, hopefully so, and all that. But anyway, it's not, there's no sixth unity principle. You got to be a vegetarian or anything else like that. But anyway, so one time, this young girl writes to Myrtle Fillmore. She writes to Myrtle and says, Dear Myrtle, dear Mrs. Fillmore, I'm trying to teach my cat to be a vegetarian, but he just won't become a vegetarian. What should I do? And Myrtle wrote back, oh dear, it's in the cat's nature. Just love your cat the way she is. The other thing which I so love and I think was so wonderful about Myrtle is she was so active in also setting up pastoral counseling. And a lot of, again, from Myrtle's tradition, you're a pastoral counselor. It's when the call to ministry came, I went to one of my minister friends, and Reverend Nancy Purcell, who was also grandmotherly and all that. I said, I think I can do the other part of ministry, but I don't think I'll be able to do the pastoral counseling stuff. I'll listen to them for 10 minutes, then I'll tell them what to do. And she said to me, oh, Rick, it won't matter. You can tell them what to do. They won't listen to you anyway, But in the tradition of Myrtle Fillmore, it's not for you to impose what they should do. You're helping them to find the Christ within themselves, the divine spark within themselves. The truth is there within them. You can help them to find that Godhead which is inside of them, instead of trying to apply them with with what you think should be doing. But anyway, Myrtle, we think of Myrtle as this saintly, grandmotherly, and she really, in many ways, really was. But she could be a tough old bird. She really could. For example, she wrote to one person who was doing counseling with her. She said, "You do not have a problem except the one that you put in your own mind, and you put it there." The other was she got 4 or 5 letters from this woman, and here comes a 6th letter, and Myrtle wrote back to her and said, I've written you 5 letters. You haven't followed any of them. Why don't you read them first before you write me a 7th letter? So as I say, she could be as it were, as tough as nails. Now, it was 1931, and Myrtle looked healthy to everybody, but she knew in her heart of hearts that it was time for her to make her transition. And she actually said to some of her friends, I think I could do more from the other side than, from here. And this time, in the 1880s, there was a spiritual healing and also a physical cure. She felt in 1931, and she was well in her 80s, and, in 1930, she felt that this time there could be a spiritual healing, but there probably would not be a physical cure. So she went down to Unity headquarters to say goodbye to everybody, and she said goodbye to one Unity worker turned to another Unity worker and said, where's Myrtle going? And the Unity worker says, I think she's going to Chicago. Myrtle, as it were, then made her transition. And I would say, it's something which, unless you feel that you're going to be living forever on planet Earth in your current form, I mean, may many of your healings both be spiritual healings and physical cures. And that is certainly possible and a lot of times probable. But there probably will come a time for all of us where there is the possibility of spiritual healing. But this time, there probably will not be a physical cure. I remember, again, in Tulsa, where from the platform, I said, I'm not sure what form it is, but I do believe in near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences. I do believe that there is some form of reincarnation, as it were, but I'm not sure it's on planet Earth. And so as I was leaving the Tulsa, to greet people in the back, this guy comes up to me and he says, let me assure you, it is on planet Earth. I didn't ask him, I should have asked him, is it also in Oklahoma? But I did not ask him. There are many takeaways which we could pull from Myrtle's life. But again, I'm going to only take 3, and they are as follows. The first is that Myrtle was highly eclectic. I mean, one time somebody charged her with being eclectic, and she looked at him and said, yes, I am eclectic. I am eclectic, and I defend my right to be eclectic. And I look at all the world's great religions, and if there's something good in one of them which can help my spiritual walk, I take it. I take it and I use it. I think in this era where so many people think they have a monopoly on truth, it is important for us who affirm interfaith to really live that and to have that eclecticism that Myrtle showed. Myrtle and Charles were also some of the pioneers in the founding of the World Parliament of Religions. We're going to be starting a series next month on unity in world religions, which I think, given so much of what's going on in this world, I think will really, truly be important for us to do. The second is that Myrtle so often said, look beyond appearances. Look beyond appearances. If we could go to the next slide. This is probably how most of us do remember, the wonderful grandmother and all that. Look beyond appearances, that the material world is not the end all and be all. If we could go to the next slide, where when her works, 2 of her works, which I would highly recommend, her letters are collected. One is How to Let God Love You, and the other is The Healing Letters by Myrtle Fillmore. Very, very powerful, powerful books. But if we go to the next slide, this is a Unity Village, and that's the great tower. It looks like something out of the Italian Renaissance, but you know what? It's the water tower. It's the water tower of all things. And again, look beyond appearances. It's the 1930s. It's in the midst of the Great Depression. And they broke ground to build that tower. And the midst of the Great Depression, and one of the board of trustee guys comes up to Myrtle and says, oh, Myrtle, I'm so concerned that we're going to run out of money. And Myrtle said, I'm not concerned about us running out of money. I'm just concerned that we not run out of faith, And they didn't. Yes, there was the Great Depression. They had to stretch out the construction. There was World War II. They had to stretch out the construction. But it was constructed. It was an a wonderful unapologetic manifestation. And so I would truly suggest in your life, when things start to look down, or whatever, it's not the whoop-de-doo day of your life, look beyond appearances. Look beyond appearances. And the last one is that Myrtle, from childhood, really honestly, truly believed in a loving God who wants to have a relationship with us. If we could go to the next slide. This is one of my favorite parts of Unity Village. It is called Myrtle's Grove. In Missouri, it gets really hot in the summer. And this is a grove of trees in the middle of a field in part of Unity Village. And Myrtle used to go out here. And it was cool, and she would sit, read, teach, whatever. And now there are benches and there are plaques of some of the things that Myrtle said. And so, you know, I would go back to that wonderful saying of Reverend Ann Tabor. I do. If there's something in your life which is really troubling you, if you're facing a challenge, my advice to you is put a myrtle on it. Put a myrtle on it. Thank you, and God bless. Namaste.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Vic. So next week we have Reverend Dave Lyman joining us to give a talk entitled Camelot Again. Our meditation will be by Reverend Christine Boughton, and who's here in the house with us today, and with music by Larry and our wonderful team of musicians. So we'd like to welcome our newcomers. If you're watching us online, you can go to SLC World and click on the Connect button and fill out the card, which will let us know that you're watching us, and we can also keep you in the loop as to what's happening at SLC. And so for those of you who are with us for the first time today in person, in a moment we'll ask you to raise your hand, and we'll give you a welcome card, which you can fill out, and please take it to one of the ushers who will give you a special welcome today. And so if you're here for the first time, would you please raise your hand? All right. Well, looks one in the back. All right. Welcome. So now we have an opportunity to help support Spiritual Life Center. And you can do this by texting SLC Love to 44321, or use the QR code, which you can find on the back of the seats in the sanctuary here, or on the screen, which will take you directly to our website to donate, or you can just go right to the donate and find the donate button. You can also mail in your love offering, and if you're online and you want to spread this incredible energy that is SLC, please click like, subscribe, comment, or share. And now let us bless our offering together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Whenever I have hurt in my heart, I ask, what would love do? Whenever I don't know what to turn, I ask, what would love do? Whenever I don't know what to say, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Yeah, yeah. Anytime that I'm stuck in my pain, I ask, what would love do? Anytime that I feel ashamed, I ask, what would love do? Anytime I can't find my truth, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead you to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. When I have something hard I need to say, what would love do? When it seems I have another block in my way, I ask, what would love
What would love do? Oh, dear Spirit, thank you for all of the prayers in our prayer box and prayers on people's hearts. Help them to know that power that is within inside of them and to discover that power that is inside of them that can help them overcome the potholes of life. Thank you for all the investments that are made in our ministry in terms of time, treasure, and talent. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Now, in a minute, we're going to say the wonderful prayer for protection, sing the peace song, and boy, oh boy, this world needs that peace song. And then Stevie Wonder music is going to happen here. Yay. But join us out afterwards in the courtyard and have a wonderful and blessed Mother's Day. So let us start off with that prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of love protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. And now that peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God.
Wow.